So yo, what it do? It's your guy Lionel TJ with the Scar Tillman. That's my guy.
Y'all already know it's one credit guy. We in the building today. Something special.
Yeah, today we got a very special guest in studio. We've had guests on, they appear via Zoom. This is our first in studio guest, and we coming out with a bang. Host of Dad's Point of View podcast and NBA star Cuttino Mobley.
My guys,
Yeah,
how y'all doing, man?
Doing great.
Good to see y'all. Good to see you.
Likewise, how you feeling, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm blessed, man. Just being a dad.
Just being a dad.
That's full time right there.
Full time
job,
man. It's full time.
Man, overtime, it don't stop.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Man, so as far it's like being a dad. Like you have the show Dad's Point of View.
Mm-hmm.
Like why, like what was the purpose? What is the mission of Dad's Point of View?
I think the mission for me is, at first I was feeling like a victim when I was fighting for custody. I'm gonna back it up a little bit, right? My first son, I'm from Philadelphia.
Okay.
My first son's mother's from Philadelphia. Both black, right? Young, both of us young at the time. She was successful in doing hair in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And me being a college star and then, making it to the NBA. I met her, I think, going into my senior year or junior year in college. And, about time is pros now, we are having our son, Tino, in 2000. So, it was a little different for both of us. She's dating an NBA star and, she's a hairdresser in Philly, little, big but small city kind of thing. And at that time, I didn't know what I knew about not only myself, but the world. I'm just going through life.
Yeah. Right.
Just, sometimes you just go through life, right?
Trying to figure it out.
You're just riding the bike.
Yeah,
you don't know no
exactly.
destination. You're just riding it. So in learning, I took psychology and communications in college. So in trying to learn myself and then learn people that are around me, going to Houston, there's Akeem Olajuwon, there's Charles Barkley, there's Scottie Pippen, there's Michael Jordan. There's so many people that on a regular basis that I was at all, watching growing up. And
that's a transition.
When idols become rivals.
Right. Yeah. And learning more of myself, now I'm like, wow, I want to do more in life.
Yeah.
And it's not so much that I didn't love my first son's mother. It wasn't that. It's just I'm growing now. And at that time, she was kind of scared to grow and move more forward because I was asking her, why don't you come to Houston?
Change is, everybody's
moving
not good with
fast.
change. Yeah.
It was moving fast. It was moving fast.
And young.
And we young.
Moving fast and the experiences.
And then your traumas, your childhood traumas.
Yeah, start kicking in.
Yeah. Start kicking in on both of us.
Yeah.
Right? So, you had the fighting back and forth and the custody battles and she not letting him come with me and then I got to give money to do X, Y, and Z and blah, blah, blah. And it's both immature at that time, And I learned from that one. And now when I'm having my two children that are younger than my oldest son now, Miles and Sam, 13 and 9, I saw similarities of things that I could have fought harder on my first, and I said, you know what? I'm not letting that happen again.
Yeah. Right.
But there was no organization within the plan. So a lot of it still accumulated in a negative sense because now I dated this person, and this person had childhood traumas as well. But then I can't really blame the first mom or the second mom. I got to blame myself for picking individuals because I didn't know myself.
That's a fact.
So Dad's Point of View is basically me wanting to uplift fathers, me wanting to help fathers, me wanting to give fathers resources and hugs and admirations and just different things like that, man. And it could be women also, right?
Yes.
Come on and say, listen, a father is super important in a children's life.
Absolutely.
A father is super important. A man is super important for our society.
And that was my next question I was going to ask you is like, from your point of view, what is the importance of having the father in the home with the children day in and day out?
Well, there's stats that go up with that, right? To where you know, if a father by himself is raising the children are more likely to be successful. If a father and a mother in the household, the children statistically are at the same level statistically of success if it's just the father. But when it's the mother, a single parent household as a mother, and the daughter's is not connected to the father and the son's not connected to the father, there's more jail, there's more pregnancies, there's more dropping out of school, there's more suicides. There's so many more things that go on in that. And you know, it took Oprah Winfrey to come on and say, well, you know, these statistics are this, and black fathers are the most involved fathers of any ethnicity in this country, and now people want to really listen.
Right, and we even posted that as well, the clip of Oprah saying that, and of course, you know, there's the yes and no's, and then a lot of people, they shy away from the actual message because of the messenger, based on what has probably been done in the past and things of that nature.
Would you say shy away from the message because of the messenger?
Yeah.
My fathers used to always tell me, the truth is the truth. You don't get to decide who tells it to you.
That's a fact. That's
right?
a fact.
So take your emotions out of that.
Now, speaking of fathers, you said fathers, that's plural. I'm big on words. I caught on to that. So I read that you said you grew up with two fathers. Like how was that growing up with two fathers, and like what did each one of them instill in you?
Wow, man. Listen, you know, I'm not looking to meet God right now, but when the time comes, I would love to thank Him for having two alpha male role models in my life. Right, my biological father, who wasn't as educated as far as books. He was a street guy. He was a henchman. He was big. You know, he's two-striker. But he was a gentle, amazing person. He's just from the streets. Right. My stepfather was more intelligent, but he was also from the streets. So my stepfather ran numbers. Okay. So he was the number man. So you see what Malcolm Little was doing before he was Malcolm X. He was the guy that you had to report to. My stepfather was the guy that Malcolm had to report to. So we had about 4 or 5 stores. So I always tell people I was never poor. You know what I'm saying? I was in the hood, but I was never poor. Right. We always had bread. And he always made sure we were good. So, you know, both fathers, you know, taught me, you know, to how to control emotions, because at one point in time, you know, I was crazy. You know, I was, and not in a bad way. It was just that I wanted it. You know, whatever it was, I wanted to win. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do that, and to fight to become better every single day. Right. So, teaching me how to control those emotions, and you may not get it at a very young age, but the more consistent you have as that father figure, that mentor in your life, you start 20, then 22, then 25, then 30, and you start to see you become more calmer.
It start problems, to change.
Right. And I think me having that, because my mom's emotional, especially when she was younger. She had me 18, 19 years old. You know what I'm saying? So
likewise,
you know. So think about it, right? There's my mom, there's my grandmom, there's my grandmom's sister, there's my mom's sisters.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all these women.
Women, right?
It's all these women. It's all around. There's no testosterone, but my dad or my uncles and them doing their thing. And my dad, I see my dad over here. Me and my dad doing this. My stepfather doing this, and they're more calm about things, right? But again, you got the system that we grew up in. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's aggressive.
Very aggressive.
Right? So, but a lot of that aggression, where I grew up, it comes from the lack of. And what is the lack of, right? So my mom grew up where her father lives in South Carolina, but my grandpa beat my grandmother. So my grandmother took all her kids and moved to Philadelphia. Okay. Right? So now, in subconsciously, my uncles and my mom and my aunts, right? If a man try to talk to my mom slick, you know, she ready to rumble.
That's just where that's what it is.
You feel me? She ready to rumble, and rightfully so. You're trying to survive, but again, are you rumbling because of the anger, that the trauma that was back when Grandpa was doing this, and you not going for it? Because I always say this: every situation doesn't need a response. You can walk away from something.
That's true.
But if a woman is yelling at me, okay, do me a favor. Why don't you just calm down? Let's talk about this. But if you constantly keep doing it, that's your love language.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to back away from you.
Yeah.
And people have to recognize that, but as at the same time, like, we're human, so those trigger, it goes back to the trauma. It's like, it just, that's what we've taught. When there's an opposition, you go aggressive, because that's how we were raised. But I seen a video the other day of you with your daughter. You guys were in the gym, and you was doing this
band work,
the band work. So, and you were talking to her, and you would encourage her. You were showing her how to do it correctly, but at the same time, you was encouraging her to not give up. But you said something that stuck with me. You said, I'm okay with you doing 5 perfect, but I'm not okay with you doing 10 sloppy. Like, what were you trying to convey to your daughter in that moment?
Well, because life, man, and I use a lot of metaphors, analogies, whatever it is, but life to me is it's like basketball, right? It's imperfect. But if you strive for perfection, you get closer to the ultimate self. So in saying that, right, Monday, what comes after Monday? Tuesday. Monday is not Friday. So if you try to skip, but you're being sloppy on your skipping, right? It's like my guy's book, Joshua Metcalf. He talks about chop wood, carry water, inches. If we've played sports before, and in basketball, from line to line. And if coach says touch the line, and I go from this line, and I don't really touch that line, and then I go back to this one, and coach is not holding me accountable, and then I go back and I don't touch that line again, it starts to inch up. But the other guy's going past the line and coming back. He's going to be more in better physical shape than I am.
More discipline.
Right? It's more disciplined as an individual. So a lot of people do sloppy, a lot of mothers do sloppy, a lot of fathers do sloppy, a lot of men, women that don't have kids do sloppy things. My thing is, I'm telling my daughter is, don't try to rush. If we have an hour, don't try to rush to enjoy
use
it.
The hour. Yeah,
use the hour.
Yeah.
So when I say the 5, do 5 perfect, because now what the body's going to start to feel, right, is it's going to release the anxieties and release the fears and release this, and you're going to start to enjoy the hour. You're going to start to enjoy the moment, because sooner or later you'll start to see progression. But if I'm doing sloppy in everything I do in life, right? If I'm skipping pages when I read, if I'm not doing this, that, whatever, I'm learning detailed things in life that's not going to help me further in life.
True.
So my thing is I tell my daughter, it's like, listen, 10 sloppies to me is a habit.
True.
So if you're going to build something,
you're making a choice.
Yeah.
You're making a choice.
Do 5 and chill out.
Like, you
then
try,
do 5 more and chill out.
You try to do the best. That's all I ask for my children, is just to
do your best.
Do your best.
Do your best.
Like, and that's all that I can expect of you. And when you're going out there into the world, it's just, especially now, you have to instill a lot of things in your children, because today's world is a lot different from when we grew up. There's a lot of things that's on television, that's on billboards, that's in the school systems,
things that's very influential.
That's very influential to our children. So you have to instill core values in your children, so when they go out into the world, they know how to face adversity.
That's the same thing with me. It's like I try to instill critical thinking, right? Because I'm not gonna always be there.
Right.
We're not gonna always be there. So we have to instill those things where they can remember and reflect on and say, okay, I'm gonna think myself out this situation, or instead of letting someone mislead them, or they follow something that they shouldn't be following. You know what I mean? So I got a question for you too. One of the questions is we did talk about the both fathers. Some of our experiences, some of your experiences in a relationship early, right, where we made mistakes, and I think we all have made these types of mistakes, not knowing that there were mistakes at the time, because in that time you just don't know. Yeah. Where was the point of your time where, when you was raising your children, you start to experience, if you experience parental alienation? Or any of that, like those types of behaviors? When was it? Was it early on? Was it later you start to realize that? Because from what my studies have taught me, early is that,
unfortunately, he said early.
Man,
It's It's a thing, right? That's a thing. I don't think a lot of people know, but parental alienation is a thing. It's a real thing.
No,
Listen, that don't start with parenting.
Exactly.
That starts with friendships when you're younger. My daughter will be in school, and if she's friends with you and she's friends with you, and y'all not friends, one of those friends be like, yo, I don't want you talking to them.
True that.
There's a book called Nurture Shock, and it speaks about racism, manipulation, alienation from the baby. From the baby.
I never even thought about it like that, but that's
You understand?
that's true.
So when people are operating, I say this all the time, guys, we're children in grown-up bodies playing an adult. That's what we are.
Yeah.
And if you don't actually know what that adult, see, I can look at this superstar, this whoever it is, mother, father, beautiful person, male, female, whoever they are, from a distance, and I don't really know their core. I'm only acting on their outside of who I think they are. I don't know who they are on the inside. They could be malicious. They could be
Their intentions.
their intentions inside could be totally different.
People show you their representative. They don't show you who they are.
Right. So there's a black, my oldest son mother is black. And then my other two kids' mother is Italian mixed with some other stuff. Both similar when it comes to alienation. Right? And no disrespect to them, but I'm just saying, subconsciously keeping someone from someone because of your emotions is alienation.
Yes.
Now,
is.
you can't listen.
And that's not in the best interest of the child.
And my first son's mom and I are cool as a fan. That's my girl. I'll do anything for her. Right? Second kid's we bump heads a lot. Right? Because I'm dealing with certain things that as a more mature man, now I'm over here trying to parent a parent now because it's like, yo, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. You should do this. You should do this. This is not a good thing. And listen, I'm not telling you how to act. But when you instill insecurities on children or you say certain things like that, that's not something for our children to. Prime example, we're talking about the gay community, LGB, I forget what, Q, right there. She doesn't like that. But okay, so my thing is, it's like, it's not, I don't care exactly what you like or not. That's not, this is life. So all you go is teach your children certain things, X, Y, and Z, to love people. I can't tell my son or my daughter, you can't be this.
Right.
I can't, that's not something, they're their own entity.
You can't control them anyway. You can say it, but it's not going to do you.
But it's not for me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Right.
the individual and God.
Exactly.
Right? So at the end of the day,
Right.
when I'm trying to tell you that's not right, you can't do that. That's like saying it's kind of like the same thing of when blacks and whites or Japanese and Chinese where they didn't like each other. Like it's like saying you can discriminate against this. It's no different.
It's the same.
It's the same exact same thing. You know what I'm saying? So we going back to alienation. That is a form of that as well. So you're alienating from, that could be their best friend, that could be a person that can save them. You don't know their journey.
Exactly.
I tell women this all the time and they get so upset. Oh, I carried them for 9-10 months, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, listen, listen to this, sweetheart.
It's my child.
Sweetheart, out there.
My child.
All this my child stuff. If, what Jay-Z say? If you made me, make another one.
Man.
Without me. Make another one without me. But don't sit here and tell me it's yours. Because that's not, no, a baby comes through you, not from you. There's a difference. Okay? Because you need us for it to happen. The only one we know in the stories is Mary that did that. And Joseph was a stepdad, it seemed like. He wasn't even his father.
Right. He was just there for the ride. Huh?
Man.
What's going on?
Talk that talk.
Yeah, that's facts. But that's where the emotions, not checking your emotions, letting your emotions get the best of you, and us being men that have children, we always have this assumption that because we wasn't learned right, we wasn't learned proper, we didn't have the proper information, so we kind of have this notion of it's their kid, they had the baby. So it's more like almost like it's a bullying factor.
I never had that mindset that this is your baby, this is our child. Like we made this child together.
I have text messages saying that. What do you mean yours? You mean ours?
That's crazy. Like I've been there every step of the way for all of my children.
Yeah.
Like these are our children. I've never said, you may joke around it when when they're doing something bad, or it's like, oh yeah, look at your son.
Yeah.
But you know, that's just casual, but nothing malicious, malicious, or nothing like that.
Well, it
It's
depends.
like,
But now, it depends on the relationship with the individual. So we can go back and forth. They clumsy and they sports. You know, that's you. That's your mother. You know, that's your mother.
Yeah. You get that trait.
Because
You
the
get that
relationship,
trait.
we can both laugh it off. My oldest son's mom and I, we laugh stuff like that off now. You know what I'm saying? Even when we were young, laughed it off. But if you have any type of insecurity, when that person says that, you're like, because you don't like the person. And you don't like what's inside yourself because you see it.
That's a fact. So let me ask you this. We talk about parental alienation, and you said, you know, that you've seen it early. You also spoke on about, like, we talked about guidance and things of that nature, like being the time that you had in the league, like looking at Zion's situation. We don't have to go too deep into a situation, but looking at that situation, like, where was when you came into the league, who were not, you could say who were some of the guys, but what were some of the gems that were given to you, if any, about dealing with women, how to protect yourself as far as coming into you have this new fame, the perception of there's all of this money, you're on television, all of this nature. Like, how do you protect yourself from situations? Like, what was the guidance, the gems that were given to you as a rookie?
Yeah, that's hard, man. That's
and before you go that, speaking of rookie, I see, you know, you went back to you cut your beard. Yeah, you cut your beard.
I'm gonna do it in the summertime. I'm a summertime goatee it. You know what I'm saying? And then once September, October come, then I'm gonna go back to the full beard. Okay. I'm gonna go back to the full beard. I don't know. I don't know. I'm right now. It's just, you know, it's summertime, so I wanna
be cool.
Yeah,
be cool.
Get the face, you know, whatever. But yeah, man. Boy. It's hard telling someone young that is already getting money, maybe not as much money as you, or maybe not as much money as you, to do this and this, because it's boring doing that at a young age, right? Like, there has to be a certain discipline in an individual. And I think that comes from your upbringing and your emotional IQ, your awareness. So when I'm in the league in my rookie year, there's Scottie Pippen, there's Charles Barkley, there's Hakeem Olajuwon, there's, you know, Michael came, you know, to see Scottie a lot, and Charles. And amazing guys, man. I don't know how their life is with their significant other.
Right.
We're just having fun.
You're just playing ball, right?
I'm young. I'm just having fun.
Yeah.
And, you know, one of my guys said to me, and I say this to a lot of people, and women get so upset with me when I say this. And it's a trigger. Yes. And this is the conversation that I'm gonna put on my IG Live, and I want to be able to talk it over. And a lot of people, you're only as faithful as your options.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's a bar.
Listen, I'm Tom Hanks, and I'm on an island by myself. Can I cheat?
No.
I'm Tom Hanks. I'm on an island by myself. Can I get a steak?
No.
I'm Tom Hanks. I'm on an island by myself. Set up a yoga class, people come. Like, you only as faithful as your options.
Faithful. I mean, you can break that word faithful down, because we can break that word down. You know,
it's a great conversation.
It's a great conversation.
You know what I'm saying?
You know,
but you got to keep working on yourself. Like,
yes.
You're 25. Yeah, you only came in here 25 years ago. But guess what? Your first 7 years was indoctrinated. Your first 7 years was preconceived. Right? So the first 75% of who you are is from that. Now you got from then, you got 18 more years of, like, what? A lot of influence now. Not the influence from parents or whoever. One mom and dad. Dad's a beta, dad's an alpha, mama's this, mama's that. Now you're trying to figure out life. But while you're figuring it out, it's moving fast. So you can't just sit and hum like a monk by yourself and figure things out. So now when you're 22, 23, 24, and now I'm traveling everywhere. I'm on a train with a camera, and the train is going 100 miles per hour, and I'm trying to take a still picture. It's impossible.
So it's impossible.
It's impossible to do, right? Unless you start to like really focus on yourself.
I was gonna say, where do you think you can reach back, or where's a starting point for that? Like, what I mean by that is, I'm a kid that's being an athlete, getting ready to get drafted, and there's a whole bunch of things, like you said, it's a train running 1,000 miles per hour, but where is a starting point to where you say, you know what, there's gonna be a lot coming at you, there's gonna be a lot of dysfunction, there's gonna be a lot of professionalism, but there's gonna be a lot of dysfunction. Where do you put yourself at?
I think that's our job. I truly do. I think we build a community of strong men, and we can't, listen, if it's 100 kids out there, you may reach 8 to 10, maybe. You might reach 5. I don't know.
We always go with the 10%. That's our.
Right,
It's always just get the 10% or whatever it is.
Just be 10%, right? So we and it's not just us three, but it's other gentlemen out there that support the cause and want to be better in society and think we are important for society. I think those seminars, those meetings, those type of things just keep flooding their brains. So when the young cats are out there, teenagers, because a lot of my 13-year-old has 4 or 5 boys over my house, and I teach them every single day. I'm in the kitchen cooking. I'm taking them to practice. Yo, did y'all brush your teeth? Yo, did you do your push-ups? Yo, you getting a cold plunge? Yo, did you read that part of the book? Yo, I'm doing those things. And they love the interaction, the consistency. Now, is it a lot? Yes, it is a lot. Right. It is a lot. Right? So I think it starts at a younger age, and I think us going around the country and going around the world and helping other men learn how to navigate and be able to lead, it, again, you can't save everybody, but it'll help. I don't think, listen, what Zion did, that's his life. But at the end of the day, what the girl did was foul.
And that's the part that that's the part that I'm trying to get to. Like, how do you, as far as like the judgment, as far as the people that you surround yourself with in this new light, because I mean, he came in out the gate, big as life. Like, how do you've been there? Like, how did you, if it was successful, like protect yourself from the people you brought around you in that moment?
Man, you know what I say. When you're in your 20s, I used to tell girls like this all the time, and I dated the best of them. I'm not a good boyfriend. I'm a really good friend. My family comes first, right? And my career comes first, and then my family, and then I'm not trading no one in for nothing. This is not how this one works. I'm so sorry. Now we can all have fun. You get some dinners, we go kick it, we can do all these things, and there's no disrespect. But I don't even know who I am yet.
Right.
I mean, we see it because we see it time, and me and T-Mac, One Credit Guy, we talk about it all the time. Every other day there's a headline, whether it's NBA, NFL, golf. It's every day. Every week is someone else, to where there's a child support number that's just ridiculous out there. Like, do you feel like you were like it's a target on your back?
Facts. Listen, I don't know the female. Like, all right. So there was the one
intention.
There you go. So I don't know the female that said the bad stuff about him. I think she was, I don't know what she was like a star,
a porn
adult star, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
To say, I let you do this, to me is whatever. Let's get to the one that did have the baby. Time discovers truth.
That's a fact.
So I'm going to say 2 things, and she may be upset, and I'm so sorry, sweetheart. You may love this man. You may X, Y, and Z. He may be the sweetest, nicest teddy bear in the world. I don't know. But he is young. He's really young, and she's older. So are you willing to be patient with his mistakes that's going to happen in life? Okay? It may not. Listen, it may not. Right. He may be cool. He may be, you know what I mean?
He may have the discipline, right?
He may have discipline. But from this track record in all the social media, he's trying to find himself. Now, are you a ticking time bomb? Is she a ticking time by waiting for one small? Do she have childhood traumas inside her? That one small thing, she like, oh, I got you.
It's over.
You can forget it, buddy.
Yeah.
You did that to me. And it's not really him. Maybe her father. Maybe another dude. She first, dated back in the day. I don't know. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like it just for me, it's a very hard thing to. But watching it, I'm sitting here like, gosh, dang it, man. I just know that you're already dealing with your body and the mental anguish and the impatience that the organization and the fans have of you just, being on the court. If something happened between you and that female, that's double now. And then it'd be triple. And then it'd be another problem. For you to focus at a young age, I will try my best. My one son's 23, single, in fashion. He hoops, but he's in fashion downtown. He ain't looking for he already seen the situations.
Right.
And he been with me since he's a little boy. Then my 13-year-old, I tell him every single time, you don't owe nobody, you don't owe me nothing. And if you don't owe me nothing, you don't owe nobody, not one thing. You out there working hard every single day. Now, if you want to go ahead and give somebody something cool, don't expect not one thing back from that.
And that's the thing. And you give out of the kindness of your heart, not because of expectations or you feel like this is something that you have to do.
Intentions.
So speaking of your son, you said you had him while you were in the league. I've been doing my research on you, and it's just it's just every other question someone asks you, and he's like, "Yo, what?" It's just I want to be a dad, dad. This is you saying I want dad, like I want to be a father.
I love it.
I love it. I love it. Like how was it while you were on the road? Like were there times making sacrifices? Like hey, maybe second or third birthday may have came up, but I got him. I'm in New York. Like how were there times that were missed sacrifices that you had to make as a guy coming up in the league, putting your profession, making sacrifices for your family? Like, were there times that you missed that you had resentment on, or?
That's a great question. My first son got to travel with me a lot.
Okay.
And again, there were situations where his mom was mad at me, and we were young at the time. I love her, Tiffany. I love you so much. That's my girl. We were young, so she had her issues. I had my issues. We were both not perfect. You know what I'm saying? We were figuring it out at a very young age, me being a star, and then her, from Philly, the whole thing, and we did things that we shouldn't have did at that age. But we loved our son, and it wasn't so much about the son that it was the relationship that we had together. As individuals, right? So whether she was like, no, he can't go to Disneyland, or no, he can't do this, and you can't have him around these people. It was things like that. So, but then also too is like, she was a G. She was like, yo, take him for the summer. So every single summer since he was little, I had my son and 4 other little boys.
Oh, wow.
Now they're all grown men now. And they love me to death, and I love them to death. Okay, so always wanted to be a father because my stepfather, my father were great. Like they were amazing to me.
You have a perfect model.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, this is fun, man. Like this is a really cool thing. The only crazy one was my mom. And that's one of my best friends, right? But my mom was my mom was wired like that, but she wants you to be great. So she's going to pound you, you know what I'm saying? She's going to get on you because she wants everything out of you, right? That because she sees greatness. And you start to learn that at an older age, how to say it and how to deliver it. And you say it in your own, kind of way. That's why I was captain of every single team I was on in the NBA.
Okay.
Now you have my second children, and Miles is different from Sam and different from Tino, but they're all the same. I had a friend of mine that was with us last week, and she's like, and knowing you so long, all your children are amazing. Like they're good spirits. Their emotional IQ, they get it. And I'm like, because I respect them. I teach them boundaries, and that's another thing we don't teach. I teach them boundaries right, within themselves, and don't let me be mean to you. Don't let me manipulate you. Don't let me lie to you. Hold me accountable.
Right.
Because I need to become better. Just because I'm your parent, that doesn't mean I don't need to improve.
Of course.
Right.
And I see that like I watch your lives, and you get a glimpse of. But I love the dynamic that you have with your children and their friends, and like your godsons, the twins, and like I see you, and it's like it's a loving environment, but at the same time, it's just from the outside looking in, it looks loving, but at the same time, I'm stern, and I'm also educating you guys on life,
structure.
on how to be better. There it is. It's structure. How to be
better human beings.
Exactly.
Okay, listen. Am I for black men, black women? For a fact, 100%. But am I for humanity? 1,000%. Because either way, even if it's what do you call it? If all right, you take care of this society, you take care of the black culture. Now it's kind of isolated. But my kids are mixed, and my great grandmother was Sicilian, and this person was this. Do I isolate that? Okay, I'm gonna take care of mine, and then I'm gonna teach mine how to be beautiful and loving and non-judgmental, which is a hard thing to do because a lot of parents have insecurities.
True.
But then also too is now I have to release you out into the world. So when I release you out into the world, what I teach you, I want you to apply. And then I want you to come back and teach me some things. Right? Because at the end of the day, there was parents when there was no computers, there was no phones. I think about parents now that are older. They're like, I don't know how to work that thing, work it for me. You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing in how you learn in life.
My son came home with this thing, they call it new math.
Oh, no, it's called Common Core, which is bad.
Man, I've seen this. I'm looking at it, I'm like,
don't even come over here with me.
I'm like, yo, what is this?
I'm calling the tutor like, hey, Jordan,
I'm
can
looking
you please
at it.
come over here?
I'm going right to Google.
Man, I'm looking at it, and I literally said, I said, yo, this is dumb. And he was like, what do you mean dumb? I said, why would you have to go through all that just to get this? You add this. If you need to, carry the one.
Yes.
And you got the answer.
No, bro.
And I showed him, I said, look, this is how we did it when I grew up.
But how about this one? How about this one? If you do it our way and they take that work in,
it's going to be wrong.
It's
wrong.
It's wrong. I don't care if you got the right answer. That's why I say, you know what? I don't want no part of it.
I may have, this is my opinion. No one else's. I take blame for this. The public school system needs some help.
Needs some revamping.
Because
of course,
if we are teaching this new platform of doing mathematics and different things, it's not working. And if it was working, I mean, I just say the public school system needs a revamping. It needs some overhaul, because I think we all went to public school at some point.
I went to Catholic my whole life.
Okay. Okay, so
I'm from Philadelphia, but then again, I'm almost 52. Right? I'm 46. So for me, back in the day, it was Catholic school or public school.
So you had two options, and majority of society, at least American, comes from one of the sides. But I think majority comes from public schools.
Right.
So it's not a slight on the public school system. It's just that we need to pay attention to it a little bit more and maybe correct some of these issues, because the kids are not in a home; they're in school majority of the time, right? They home just to eat and go to sleep.
So how about this one? I don't like homework. I don't like homework. Let me tell you why I don't like homework.
Me neither.
The father comes, and I was talking to my man Q, the boss, about this yesterday. Stick with me. Father worked from, hardworking father worked from 8 to like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Get home at 6, he tired.
Right.
The mom probably had to stay-at-home mom. This is back in the day.
Right,
stay-at-home mom. So she dealing with all this chaos through all the day. Now the kids go to school. She got worried about the kids did the furniture, the clothes, the laundry, the eating. Then she tired.
Yeah.
Father comes home. They did this. Overwhelming. He already worried about that. She overwhelmed too. So both of you on the right.
Cancel each other out.
So now I got to help you with the homework. Hold tight.
Whoa.
Now the kid is burnt out.
True.
Because now the energy that you're giving your child is not authentic. I only got 10%.
That's a fact.
I only got 10% as a mom and a dad. I only got 10%. All I want to do is come and chill out. Can we just sit, hug, and relax? And then now the kid recharges. Now when you go back to school, Now it's not about so much of a homework, and maybe it's a what do you call it? Scavenger hunt research with dad or mom on a weekend or something like that for an hour or whatever. Something simple and quick.
Something quick.
But then during the school, everybody's so overwhelmed, they're drained and they're tired. So when you come home, I don't feel like doing that. I just want to sit and relax. Let's just sit in with positive energy. So when the dad comes home or the mom sees the dad and everybody just sitting, maybe reading a book, watch TV, just decompressing to 8:30 at night. Everybody go chill out, go to sleep. And then the kids are excited to go back to school.
Right.
So here's the thing. So for me, on that aspect, like I lived in the city of Irvine for 8 years. Irvine is probably 90-some% Asian.
Yep.
When we moved to Irvine, there was a slight culture shock within the school system. Like the move there was intentional because they had the #1 schools within Southern California. It was at that time it was deemed
it's top in the country.
It's the safest city in America at that time. So my intentions were that it was intentional why we moved there. I moved there specifically for my daughter. She had behavior issues, the IEPs and things of that nature. So when we moved to Irvine, right away we noticed there was no homework in school. They didn't give out homework at all.
No,
and for us, being
Message.
that we
and you start
Message.
school later.
exactly
Message.
And so for us, it's like, yo, why you ain't giving the kids no homework? Because this is how we've been conditioned all of our lives. What do you mean there's no homework? There has to be homework. It's like, no, it's no homework.
Yeah.
They gave us a study that the children, part of the reason why their test scores were so high, because they taught the children everything they needed at school, and at home they just let the children
They
be.
go
They
home.
gave them a break.
Bro,
go
you
home.
you have to relax
Yes.
at home.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
Peace.
And listen, that's not even my profession. I'm just psychology and communications. I'm just telling you what I see.
Right.
What I see, fam. So at the end of the day, sometimes what did coach say? What did Eric Spoelstra say to them? Listen, y'all go and get away from basketball. When you lose the game, just don't even look at no TV. Don't do nothing. Go have with your friends.
Just live life.
Go get a drink. Stay with your girl. Do whatever you want to do. But leave this sport alone for today. 24 hours. You need to refresh.
Reset. Yes. Reset.
We are, as a human society, we get overwhelmed. And you don't know how to recharge. You can take a battery, put it in the freezer all you want. Sooner or later, that battery not gonna work no more.
Yeah, gotta
That's not how
recalibrate.
this
Kids don't
works.
know nothing about that.
Right.
What do you
Like
say?
a battery.
A battery.
They put it in now you're talking about Nintendo cartridges and blowing at them.
Yeah,
and
you feel me?
things.
But no, it's a reset. I think it's more intentional though, the way it is in society. I think it's structured that way because you got to always have the haves and have-nots and to make a society work. You got to keep some people at the bottom for some other people to stay at top. Unfortunately, that's the makeup of how we run our society. The ones that are critical thinkers like you and I, my brother, and those out there that's watching, it's like we're thinking outside the norm, right? And when you think outside the norm, they're like, wait, you extreme, you're this, you're that. It's critical thinking, it's basic thinking.
Right.
You need to recharge. The kids are gone all day, you're gone all day,
Right.
and then you're supposed to come home and parent for 2 hours if at the max. Nothing's gonna get done. You think it's gonna get done, it's not gonna get done. To me, it's almost setting yourself up for failure, right? We gotta look at the causation of things, because there's symptoms of everything that we're doing, right? The courts, the parental alienation, all these things, this dysfunctionality that we have in
Being
society.
parentified.
Yes. Blaming the man, of whatever, the stuff that come with being a man, right? You accept it. We don't even question it. It's just you don't make enough money, or where you do this, you're going away from the home too long, or wait, you're home too much. You got to do this. You got all these expectations, right? It's wrong. Okay, we have to reset. We have to refigure this out. We know the answers to most of this stuff. We just have to what they call us extreme.
Right.
If we did that.
Yeah, and I mean, just to touch on the word extreme. Like when we have this platform, child support is fraud. The actual show is child support fraud. Now, of course, there's people that's, when they hear the word child supported fraud, it's like, oh, you don't want to take care of your children? It's like, no one, whoever said that we don't want to take care of our children. That's not the case. The thing is, child support, this is not even my words or our words. The Supreme Court ruled that child support is not, it's in the best interest of the state. It's not to benefit any child.
Right.
Nor parents.
So as far as just to touch on the extreme part, I want to ask you, what are some of the extreme things that you've experienced with dealing with the child support system?
Or AKA they want to make it as family court system.
They intertwine that.
Yes.
First, I want to say the truth doesn't mind being questioned, and a lie doesn't want to be challenged.
Y'all hear that?
Say that one more time for the people in the back.
A truth doesn't mind being questioned.
Okay.
And a lie doesn't want to be challenged. So when you hear, regardless of what it is, I'm going to simplify it down to whatever it is you think I don't have or I don't know, or what a fact is, right? Go back to the truth is the truth. I can prove it very calmly to you. I forget who said it. I forget, it was a philosopher who said it. He said, a man doesn't raise his voice, he improves his argument.
Yeah.
Oh, I just said this on the show maybe two shows ago.
Yeah.
Someone actually came in. So I am the
and this is a practice.
Yeah, I'm a controller of a t-shirt print shop, and a guy came in and got a shirt made, and it said, "Don't raise your voice, improve your argument." I said, "Ooh, that was cold." Yeah. I've been using it ever since.
Yeah,
ever since, because it, especially when you're, and this is something that I give to the platform, is as far as like when they're going into these hearings, again, we've been taught to, when we're faced with adversity, is to get aggressive. It's like, no, don't. It's okay if they dismiss your emotion. That's what they do.
Yeah.
They dismiss many of my emotions. I represented myself for 2 years. It was a 2-year process.
Yes.
But I didn't raise my voice. I improved my argument.
Yeah.
And showing you.
And in basketball, it's the same way, right?
Man, showing them exactly, this is your procedure. This is what was supposed to happen. This is what you didn't do. And your policy says this is what's supposed to happen. This is the remedy.
And to piggyback on that, I raised my voice twice and got kicked out twice. And I came back and improved my argument. And that was with more evidence, more facts, and having court etiquettes. So learning those types of things in life, that is powerful.
But that's big what you said, having court etiquette, understanding your laws. As a human being, a living entity, understanding that, and a lot of people don't understand that part.
Right.
And also too is, listen, you had to help me. You know what I'm saying? And these a lot of guys out there making so much money, and they don't understand exactly how powerful they are as an entity. Right?
Cuttino, listen,
man,
what you just said, what you just said, you have to repeat that, because I don't want that to go over your head. And I think we don't touch on this enough. We don't speak on it, really. It was just a word that just kind of went in and went out. You're a human entity. You're a powerful entity, because the entity that's attacking you is a foreign entity.
Right. Come on. That entity is, it's a little tricky, right? Because there's the debt and there's the collector. Right. So there's the entity of the debt, where there's your debt, and then there's the debt. There's the creditor, that you are a living being. And when you understand powers in that, and you understand laws, it's like the rules of basketball, the rules of anything in life. If you understand it, when you're playing it, you're more calm and you can make better decisions.
Yes.
But if I'm going into court and I'm like, I don't want to hear it here, take this money, and here, oh, you tell me this, and I do no research, and blah, here, take this. Before you know it, you spending millions of dollars. Well, me spending millions of dollars, and you could have did that for $10,000, or you could have did that for not even $10,000, but your time. And a lot of people don't want to really, because sometimes it's not the money you spend, it's what you become. That's the most amazing thing when it comes to your journey. Forget like the money and the girls and the guys and the parties. What do you become? What am I going to become? You know what I mean? Like I tell young kids this all the time. Yeah, okay, Joker last night when he was on the podium, when he won, he's like, what time's the parade? Oh, man, I want to go back to Serbia.
Man, I'm ready to go home.
It was a split second. He was holding that trophy. Okay, it's done.
Yeah.
Now I want to go home.
I want to go home. He literally said it. He literally said, okay, now we can go home.
Now we can go home.
I'm done.
It's
He
a
did
split second. What you need to fall in love with, and this is the court system, this is anything. Because, listen, it's a business. Don't take it personal. It's not personal because the person who just did it to just you out of 8 billion people. Whoever don't understand their situation, it ain't personal. It's just that your lack of knowledge. So, in saying
Facts.
that, right? But in saying that, for me, in going in, I had to lose a lot of money for me to say, yo, listen, come on. Understand, bro. Are you going to, dad's point of view thing, are you going to just, now that you've won your custody of your children, what about everybody else that don't have that? You need to start reaching out to gentlemen like yourself. You need to start giving, and this is not no anti-women. This is just learning information, like wanting to be a better person. So they can say whatever they want to say. You know what I'm saying? Women they're bitter or don't have fathers or X, Y, Z or grew up with a beta father or men that X, Y, Z, I don't know, whatever, who they are with their own agenda. All good. I still love you, but I'm for people who want to be better. That's it.
Wow.
So you said you have custody of your children. Why was that important to you?
I mean, one of the reasons was knowing life and knowing what I can give to them, what I've learned and what they can teach me. Because they've taught me a lot. And me fighting for custody taught me a lot of, before I was very, as aggressive as I was on the court, I was very passive when it came to what I thought what I thought I kind of was in control of, right? I knew I was when I'm on the basketball court, I could control things.
Okay.
When you playing the game of basketball or you playing a game of life, understanding those laws, rules, and things. I want my children, and not just my children, but I want them to understand that the love that I have for them is unconditional, that life is better than you think it is if you apply yourself. So them teaching me while I'm fighting is more about love is not just a word. Love is an action, right?
This is true.
So
I say it all the time.
Right. So it wasn't, I want to win custody of my children and take them away from their mother. But I had a lot of love on my side. I have a lot of love over here, right? And I don't have to pay my family to love my children. Their mother's side, right? They grew up pure. They're good-looking people. They're very smart. But a lot of us are low functioning. So you grow up like that. And I seen it where they're not together. They're not, right? They're not as incomplete as they should be. Now listen, if they were all just kumbaya and everybody was good spirits and everything was good and there was no X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, It's not like that. So now I'm like, well, I don't want my children to go through that part.
Of course.
Right? They don't deserve to go through that part. They need a village to help them, right? Because life is already hard.
So now, in closing, let me ask you this. I've like I said, I did my research, and I've seen you, and not just with the league. You speak a lot on contract. Like, make a contract with yourself. Discipline, being disciplined. Make a contract with yourself. This, I've seen you say this many times. So my question to you is, what is the contract? You don't have to get too deep into it, but what is the contract that you made with yourself regarding your children? Like, what is the why?
That's a great question. I think the contract I made with myself, and I made this before with my children, is to try to be the best individual spirit, having this human experience that I can be. And that's learning from you, gentlemen. That's learning from other people out there. That's learning from people that are not successful, right? Like, there's a message in everything that God gives to us. And your eyes have to be open, your mouth have to be shut, and your ears have to be ready to take it in. So the contract, just like the basketball contract, I'm not negotiating, right, playtime with all my friends. I'm going to be in that gym. I'm going to be studying. So mine is with my kids. Is like, I'm not going to be dating girls and doing all this other stuff. I'm trying to make sure that my children, so when I send them off, they are already amazing. Right. They're going to make mistakes, and I'm going to be there to help them. But at the end of the day, I'm going to give them everything I got. And I think the contract is me becoming the best soul I can be while I'm on earth, being a good man, being a good person, right? And I'm not saying I don't want to date and things like that, but if it
conflicts
with my daughters and my daughter and my sons and their friends, if you're not a part of this, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a moody person. I'm moody when it comes to my family. Now you can bring your...
Sometimes you got to be a little selfish.
But my thing is this. Listen, y'all can bring y'all kids over my house any day. In the summer times, yo, Cat, they gonna come over here. I got them. We're going to the pool. I'm going to cook them something. We may going to hit the park. You know what I'm saying? We're going to basketball. I'm cool. I ain't going nowhere. I don't want no problems. Right. I don't have time to raise a grown-up. I'm trying to raise children to become adults. Right. You know what I'm saying? Facts. So for me, it's like I have to, and I hate using this word as a parent. Sacrifice. I mean, you had them. There's no sacrifice. You sacrifice when you let a homeless person in your house. That's a sacrifice. But like, it's your children, so you got to do your part. You got to take all the water out the sponge. Yeah. Like, it's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? And then after a while, when your children start getting older and you teaching them these things, they're going to refill your sponge with a lot of water. It's all good. Absolutely. That's just how life works. But that's my contract, man. Just to be my best, to try to be my best. And I need people like you, like, yo, Cat, come on. Get going. Let's keep, you know what I mean? Because when you're in the game, I might have a bad first quarter.
Yes. And you need somebody that's on the bench to
let's go.
Keep your head in the game. What's going on?
What you doing? We need you, bro. Come on. Yes. Post more of this stuff. Do more of this. Do this. Do this.
And that's why, to go back to that, and that's why you guys have, there's 4 quarters, and in between the quarters, you got the time to let's recalibrate. Yes. And make adjustments. Yes. We see what's going on. We see what the playing field is.
Got some timeouts.
Let's make some adjustments. And that's what life is all about, is seeing what the canvas is, making some adjustments, having fun, and being the best version of you, and to improve the people around you.
My daughter, I saw my daughter doing something. We share an office in my house.
Okay.
And there's the movie theater, and then on the other side is the office. It's like this. This is the movie theater part, and then on the other side is a nice little office thing. So she puts her desk right next to mine. So when I'm having calls, doing all of my stuff, she's right there painting. She has the easel, the whole thing. And it was something it was metaphoric, like it was a metaphor kind of thing. I was looking at it, and she drew this amazing kind of like abstract kind of painting. And then she took black paint, and then she painted over it. And I said, why'd you change that? She's like, I liked it, but I'm going to do something different. Now, in life, think about that. This could be beautiful, this could be amazing, or it could be messed up, doesn't matter. But like when you said canvas, you could take that canvas. Canvas is life. You can paint this and it could be amazing. But guess what? Something from that painting inspired me to do something different. But if I don't have anything else but this life, I can black that out, learn from it, and make something else.
Make something totally different.
You can become beautiful. Again.
That's and we're gonna end it on that note, man. Man, that was beautiful. Cat, man, I appreciate you for coming on.
Thank you. Anytime. Definitely.
You know, like I said, you know, anything that I can do and vice versa, you know, we're here for you.
Yes, sir.
And man, I appreciate you for.
Yes, sir.
And you know, once again, we signing out. My name is Lionel TJ Tillman.
One Credit Guy, childsupportisfraud.com.
This is.
And you already know the man of the hour.
Cat Mobley.
Host of The Dad's Point of View.
Yes.
And we're going to do more of this across the country.
Yes.
So we're definitely looking forward to that.
Loving it.
Yeah, and this is Child Support Fraud.
Hey, like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.